Hurricane Beryl is a very major hurricane cruising through the Caribbean. Good Tuesday evening, I'm Mike Naso with the 6 p.m. update on our very powerful Hurricane Beryl as it moves just south of the Dominican Republic, headed to the west-northwest in the general direction of Jamaica. There's the visible satellite as the sun starts to set, bubbling, not quite as well organized as it was, but still a very dangerous major hurricane. Here's the latest on Hurricane Beryl as of 5 p.m. Eastern Time from the National Hurricane Center. It was at 15.9 north, 70.8 west. Winds still 155 miles per hour, which is the upper echelon of Category 4, although it's probably weaker than this. We'll have aircraft flying around throughout the evening and the night to give us a better sense of where the intensity is. Moving west-northwest at 22 miles per hour, the pressure is still estimated at 943 millibars, but we just don't know for sure. Regardless, it looks like Beryl's going to remain a major hurricane as it moves towards the west, northwest, and then eventually head near or over Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, towards the Yucatan Peninsula. After that, we just don't have a high degree of certainty. It could continue west straight into Mexico. It could bend a little north towards northern Mexico or South Texas, or it could bend much further north towards more of the upper Texas coast. It's still too early. That would be sometime by the end of the week and the weekend. So again, if you're in that area, you want to keep close tabs on Hurricane Beryl. We do have a hurricane warning in effect for the island of Jamaica, as well as the Cayman Islands, Grand Cayman, and Little Cayman and Cayman Brac. In the Cayman Islands, you guys are going to feel the wrath of Beryl as it pulls towards the west-northwest. Also have a hurricane watch and a tropical storm warning here for the south coast of the Dominican Republic and the south coast of Haiti, with these tropical storm force winds buffeting areas there of the Dominican Republic. Rainfall is going to be a threat even to the Dominican Republic, 8 inches or more, 12 inches or more for Haiti, and the heaviest rain will head towards Jamaica and the Cayman Islands. The good news is it's moving very quickly, so you shouldn't have any slow motion rainfall, but nevertheless, with a major hurricane, it's going to pack a wallop with rain. Now, here's the latest water vapor imagery as of 6 p.m. Eastern Time, and I wanted to show you, it looks like it's trying to go through another eye-wall replacement cycle, but it is not going to be as flawless as the one it went through the other day before hitting the islands, because it is undergoing wind shear and it's in a less favorable environment. Nevertheless, the hurricane's so strong that it's going to fight as hard as it can to maintain a strong intensity. We might see a larger eye form, and again, that's not always good news, because even though the winds might come down from 155 to 115, you'd still be dealing with a larger hurricane spatially and a larger area of impact on towards the west. The upper level wind shear I'm looking at here is starting to cut on the western side of the hurricane. We've known this was going to happen, and that's why you have that flattening there. Although the mid-level shear not looking quite as bad as it did yesterday, so as the hurricane moves to the west-northwest, the environment should be a little rougher than what it had before. Here's another look at the water vapor. Again, the hurricane is facing these wind shear vibes coming to the west, from the west, on the western side here, as it pulls towards the west-northwest. So again, it will weaken. The question is how much? Does it remain a Category 4 hurricane all the way to Jamaica? Is it a Category 3? Does it dance around the island of Jamaica or go directly over? We just don't know. But if you're in that hurricane warning area, be on alert. Be making sure your hurricane supplies are ready. You saw what Beryl did to the Windward Islands near Grenada. You do not want to have that happen to you, and if it does, you want to be ready for it. Here are the European ensembles as of 12Z, and they weaken the hurricane as it moves nearer over Jamaica and the Cayman Islands into the Yucatan Peninsula, and then most of them continue it west into northern Mexico, although there are some that bend it back to the north, and that's why we just don't know past 72 hours with any high degree of certainty. This is the H-Worth model. This is as of 12Z. It takes the hurricane, very powerful major hurricane, directly over Jamaica, and that would be very nasty for that island. It weakens it down to a Category 1 hurricane, but then it comes on back to a strong Category 3, goes over Cozumel, leaves the Yucatan, re-intensifies, and takes aim as a big fat donut of a Category 3 hurricane somewhere at the upper Texas or even western Louisiana coast. That would be a very bad scenario. Hopefully, it stays south of there, but again, it's too early to tell. So there's where the hurricane is now. Jamaica, it's approaching you, and Kingston along the south coast there, and then Montego Bay along the north coast. It could impact anywhere. It could move to the north and kind of dance around the island like they do. It could dance around to the south, or it could do what Hurricane Gilbert did back in '88 and just cross the island directly. And while that might weaken the hurricane, it certainly would be bad news for Jamaica. The Cayman Islands here, you could hope that it remains to the south, and you don't want it to get too close because then you'd be on the northern side, which is the worst part of the hurricane. Obviously, here we have Grand Cayman Island, and then we have Little Cayman and Cayman Brac. So again, this is a Caribbean cruiser, if ever we've seen one, very, very rare for the month of July. As it moves beyond that, we will watch it here in the Yucatan Peninsula. You guys will probably have a hurricane watch soon, and then from there, anywhere from Veracruz through Tampico, Matamoros, all the way up to Corpus and Galveston. These are the areas that need to watch. So again, we're going to watch it over the next 1, 2, 3 days as it progresses, and then beyond that, we just don't know at this point. The key messages with the hurricane: number 1, devastating hurricane force winds, life-threatening storm surge, and damaging waves expected for Jamaica and the Cayman Islands Wednesday and Wednesday night. Residents in those areas should listen to your local officials and emergency management for preparedness information or evacuation orders. Heavy rainfall and life-threatening flash flooding are likely over much of Jamaica, as well as southern Hispaniola throughout late Wednesday. Number 3, Beryl is expected to remain a hurricane, possibly a strong hurricane, as it approaches the Yucatan Peninsula and Belize late Thursday, and we will likely have those watches and warnings by late Tuesday or early Wednesday. And number 4, there remains uncertainty in the track and intensity of Beryl over the western Gulf of Mexico later this weekend. Interest in the southwestern and western Gulf of Mexico should monitor the progress of Hurricane Beryl. The most likely arrival time of any winds of tropical storm force wouldn't be until Saturday or Sunday at the earliest. So if you're in Brownsville or Corpus, you guys would not see any impacts until the weekend at the earliest, if it heads that far north. Right now, the Yucatan Peninsula is going to be the focus over the next 3 days. There's the information for those who speak Spanish or read Spanish. So again, we're going to watch this system as it pulls to the west-northwest. Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, the Yucatan Peninsula, you guys are squarely in the path of a very dangerous major hurricane. Beyond that, if you're in the western areas of the Gulf of Mexico, Texas, even Louisiana, keep a very close eye on this dangerous major hurricane. I'm Mike Naso with the latest on powerful Hurricane Beryl. We'll continue to watch it here. Stay tuned. Jamaica, you're next.